If you're like us, you're always looking for ways to make the most out of your garden. From the first shoots of spring to the last onions tucked away for winter, garlic and onions are two staples in just about every homestead kitchen. They're easy to grow, store well, and bring big flavor to almost everything that we cook. But preserving them for year-round use takes a little planning. Today, we're going to show you how we do this. Garlic scapes are the shoot that comes out of and grows out of hardneck garlic. You've probably seen these wild, twisty shoots popping up. They curl when they come up, and at the end they have a little bud for a flower. You want to harvest these garlic scapes before they bloom. So once they start curling, that's the time to go through and cut them from the plant. Garlic scapes are one of our favorite summer flavors. They are similar to garlic, but just a little bit milder. However, they don't last as long as garlic can, so we want to make sure that we preserve them somehow. So today we are going to freeze dry our garlic scapes. After a quick rinse, we're going to trim off the ends and then chop them into pieces that are small enough to dry evenly. They don't have to be perfect, just similar. And once we're ready, we'll lay them in a single layer on our freeze dryer trays. This will keep them from sticking together, helps them to dry faster, and then when they're all done, we can enjoy them without all the hassle. We're actually going to grind these garlic scapes into powder when we're done, so that we kind of have a garlic scape powder we can add to any dish. We are also chopping up the last of our onion harvest from last fall. Our onions really held up great in storage, but before they start turning and we lose them, we are going to freeze dry them. So we peel them, chop them, and place them on our freeze drying trays flat, just like we did our garlic scapes. It's a simple way to make the most from our harvest and make our food stretch. We can just pull onions out and throw them into any dish. Sometimes we reconstitute them, sometimes we don't, but freeze drying them just helps us preserve them for a little bit longer. Now, these onions and garlic scapes only took about 8 hours for us to get them from cut up on the trays and freeze dried. But they look great. They're all nice and crispy, which is what you want. They should, if you put them in your hand, they should crunch up and powder. So they look really great. So now we are going to take them and we are going to powder some of these. Now you might be asking yourself, why did you decide to powder these garlic scapes and these onions? Well, we buy garlic powder and we buy onion powder at the grocery store, and we're spending lots of money to buy these seasonings. Why not make them ourselves with what we're already harvesting? So it's actually really, really simple. I'm just taking these freeze-dried onions, putting them into a food processor, and grinding them down until they are powder. That's all it is. It's so, so simple. And now I have garlic powder that has no preservatives, no additives, no salt, no anything. It's just pure onions and pure garlic scape. So we put them in a jar and just label it, and then we can have this for several months, maybe up to a year, depending on how much we use in a dish. We're doing the same thing with our garlic scapes. Now, our garlic scape powder, I will label it garlic scape powder because the powder will be green, so that will be different. And it's going to have a much more mild flavor than regular garlic powder would have, because it is just the scape versus the garlic clove. So if I'm doing a dish and I really want a strong garlic flavor, I'm not going to use my garlic scape powder. Or if I'm doing a dish and I don't want to have a green color to it, I'm not going to use my garlic scapes. Um, it's not going to change really like the color of a stir fry or something like that, but it could change the color of a soup or a stew because it is quite green. Just like if you um, freeze dried or dehydrated spinach, it's going to be really, really green as well. But you don't have to blend these down into a powder. You could leave them solid and just have small pieces of garlic scape or small pieces of onions and throw those into dishes. So that's what I'm doing here with the remainder of these onions that I freeze dried. I'm going to take these and just put them into a mason jar. We're going to pack it pretty full just so that all those onions get in one jar and I don't waste additional jars. But I love this method for adding onions to meals that I'm working on. We'll throw them into a salad and give it a little bit of crunch. We'll throw them into a soup so that we don't have to chop onions. You could put them in casseroles, and you don't even always have to rehydrate them. Once those jars are full, we'll seal them, label them, and add them to our pantry shelf. It's always satisfying to see as those jars start to stack up. It's one more step in building a homestead that feeds us all year long. We hope this video was helpful for you, and we'll see you in the next video.